Your bank account is healthier than it was a year ago. You have an emergency fund. You are contributing to retirement. And you still feel broke every single time you check your balance. That feeling is not about your numbers. It is about a distortion happening in your brain, and it has a name: money dysmorphia. The real problem is not your finances, it is that your perception of your finances has become completely disconnected from the actual data, and that gap is costing you peace of mind and, ironically, costing you money through bad decisions made out of false scarcity. Here is exactly what is causing it and exactly how to fix it. Welcome to Daily Money Mindset. Money dysmorphia is a term that has exploded in financial psychology circles, and for good reason. It describes the experience of feeling financially insecure or behind despite objective evidence that you are doing fine or even doing well. Just like body dysmorphia distorts how someone sees their physical appearance regardless of reality, money dysmorphia distorts how people see their financial standing regardless of their actual numbers. The first driver of this distortion is comparison exposure. Social media in 2026 has become a constant feed of curated financial wins. People showing off investment gains, vacation purchases, home upgrades, and lifestyle spending with zero context about debt, family support, or financial stress behind the scenes. Your brain does not process this as entertainment. It processes it as a comparison set, and against an endless stream of edited highlight reels, almost anyone's real financial life looks inadequate. The second driver is what behavioral economists call shifting reference points. When your income increases, your sense of what counts as enough increases right alongside it, often faster than your actual savings rate. This is sometimes called lifestyle creep, but the dysmorphia version is more subtle. It is not that your spending necessarily increased, it is that your internal benchmark for security moved without your numbers moving as much. You can be objectively wealthier than you were 2 years ago and feel poorer because your reference point quietly recalibrated upward. The third driver, and the one almost nobody talks about, is headline anxiety transfer. Constant exposure to news about inflation, market volatility, and economic uncertainty creates a background hum of financial anxiety that gets misattributed to your personal situation. You read 3 articles about a recession risk, and your brain quietly files that anxiety under "my finances are precarious," even if your specific numbers have not changed at all. So how do you actually fix this, beyond simply being told to feel better? The first intervention is what we call a quarterly numbers reset. This means physically writing down, on paper or in a simple spreadsheet, your actual net worth, your actual monthly cash flow, and your actual progress towards specific goals, and doing this on a fixed schedule, regardless of how you feel that week. The discipline here is separating the act of checking your numbers from your emotional state. When you only check your finances during anxious moments, you train your brain to associate checking with anxiety. A scheduled, neutral context check breaks that association. The second intervention is building what is called a personal baseline document. This is a one-page record of where you stood financially exactly 1 year ago: net worth, savings rate, debt levels. The reason this matters so much is that money dysmorphia thrives on the absence of a fixed comparison point. Without a documented baseline, your brain defaults to comparing your current situation against an abstract, idealized version of where you think you should be, which is a comparison you can never win. Comparing your current numbers against your own documented past gives you a real, objective signal of progress. The third intervention is a media diet audit specifically for financial content. This does not mean avoiding financial news entirely. It means being deliberate about the ratio of anxiety-inducing content to actionable, grounded content you consume. If your financial information diet is 60% doom-scrolling headlines and 40% practical guidance, that ratio itself is generating distortion, regardless of your actual financial position. Flip that ratio, and the anxiety transfer effect measurably decreases. The fourth intervention addresses the social comparison driver directly, and it is more specific than just use social media less. The technique is called context restoration. Every time you notice yourself feeling behind after seeing someone else's financial content, consciously ask what context is missing. Are they showing income but hiding debt? Are they showing a purchase but hiding the years of saving behind it? Are they simply lying, which happens more than people assume? This is not about assuming the worst of others. It is about recognizing that a single data point without context is not useful information, and your brain treating it as useful information is the actual malfunction. Now let us talk about the financial decisions that money dysmorphia actually causes, because this is where the psychological problem becomes a real dollar problem. People experiencing money dysmorphia often make one of two opposite mistakes. The first is paralysis, feeling so behind that they avoid checking accounts, avoid increasing retirement contributions, and avoid any financial planning because it feels overwhelming or pointless. The second, less obvious mistake is overcorrection spending, feeling so anxious about scarcity that they make impulsive financial decisions, like cashing out investments prematurely or taking on debt for purchases meant to provide emotional relief from the anxiety itself. Both of these patterns are responses to a feeling, not responses to actual data. This is why the numbers reset and baseline document interventions matter so much. They replace a feeling-driven decision process with a data-driven one. When you know your actual savings rate is on track, the discomfort of social comparison loses its power to drive a bad decision. There is one more layer worth understanding, which is the role of financial trauma and upbringing in shaping your baseline anxiety level. If you grew up in a household where money was scarce or a source of conflict, your nervous system may carry a heightened baseline financial anxiety that exists independently of your current numbers. This is not something a spreadsheet alone fixes, but recognizing it matters because it explains why some people experience money dysmorphia much more intensely than others with identical financial positions. If this resonates with you, it is worth exploring with a financial therapist or counselor who specializes in money and behavior. This field has grown significantly and is increasingly accessible. The bigger picture here is that financial well-being is not purely a function of your numbers. It is a function of your numbers combined with how accurately you perceive those numbers. Two people with identical net worth can have completely different qualities of life depending on whether their perception matches reality or is distorted by comparison, shifting reference points, and anxiety transfer. Fixing the perception gap is just as valuable as fixing the underlying numbers, and for many people in 2026, it may be more urgent. If this helped you understand a feeling you could not quite name, hit the like button and subscribe to Daily Money Mindset. We cover the psychology and the strategy of money 3 times a week. Drop a comment below and tell us, does this describe how you have been feeling about your finances lately? We read every comment. Resources on financial anxiety and money psychology are linked in the description below.